Right.
Perfect. I think we
We
are.
have friends that will be knocking on the door.
Yeah.
Here we are. Here we are. Where are you guys? Stop talking.
Hmm. Okay, let's double check that I see us live. Yeah. And let's share this out on here. Let's,
Are you going to say the name, the dates of your forum again?
I will, yes. Yeah,
Okay,
that way
good.
people can start saving them as well. And I already see that there are a couple of people starting to join us. I do just want to give it about another minute or so to see who else might be joining us before we get kicked off and started. Since we're starting a tad bit late, I have the gift of gab and I was holding up our commissioner before before getting live here. Great. The notification has popped off. We'll go ahead and get started and kicked off. Happy Friday to you all. And thank you so much for tuning in to our live broadcast. We are here generally on Mondays and Wednesdays with city updates and then a welcome to some of our newer businesses in the community into our network. And then on Fridays, the last Friday of every month, we have that reserved for our Jefferson County update. And graciously, our County Commissioner Tracy Kraft Tharp is always ready and eager to share with us all things county. So the way that these broadcasts work, if this is your very first time, thank you for coming on here with us. Be sure that you hit the like button and follow button here on Facebook. If you're viewing it on YouTube, be sure that you hit the subscribe button. What that does is give it priority on your phone or your tablet or whatever other device you're scrolling on any of the social platforms with. It also notifies you when we go live or post fresh content. So if you're not in the app, you'll get the alert and can join us briefly or just mentally flag that. Now, if you're a returning viewer, then you already know my ask, and that's to hit the share button on this video so others in your network can see that we're live now, can join us even long after we're no longer live. The comment section here on our Facebook and YouTube channel is your way of engaging with us. When you comment a thought, a remark, any of those pleasantries that you might share with us or questions, we're able to see it in real time, bring it onto the screen, recognize it, and if it's a question, hopefully address it for you later on during the discussion. So we love to see who's on here with us. When you react to the video by giving a thumbs up or heart or any of those emojis, it shows us who you are that's on here, like our past chairman, Brian Head, that's just joined us. When you comment, we not only see the comment, we also see your name. So for example, I just want to show you for purposes of if you comment in the future, it does display your profile picture and then the comment. It does this if you're on Facebook. It also does it if you're on YouTube. Fun fact, the little red thing means that you are on YouTube viewing. So we know that Dave Carpenter is watching this on YouTube and giving a good morning message over to County Commissioner Tracy Kraft Tharp. And then, of course, Brian gave us a quick note. And I see Parker Brown on here with us with a good morning message, both to the commissioner and myself. So that is the way that the comment section works. We've got a short window to talk about a whole lot of things. So I'm going to do my best to type up some of what the commissioner says in the chat. If she shares links or information about things, I'll pull those and include that in the comment section for you. If you have to pop off, you can come back to us. If you join us later on, welcome back to you. Or if you watch this at a later point, because this is available to you morning, afternoon, evening in the video section on our library, then be sure you give us that hashtag replay so we know that you tuned in with us. With that, I'm going to give that time back to Commissioner Kraft Tharp so you can get us kicked off with our segment today.
Thank you for having me. I really do appreciate it. Happy Friday. And thanks for reminding me about the forwarding. I had totally forgotten to forward this to Tracy for Jeffco. So it's playing on that also.
Awesome.
So Juliet, there's a little game I like to play on this sometimes, and it's called Guess Going Rogue. So I'm, so I'm going rogue. So Ms. Juliet,
Yes.
what's new in your life since we talked a month ago?
Quite a bit of things,
I
Commissioner.
know, I know. So tell it. Tell
crazy.
us, Miss Juliet.
So
What's
I
new?
had the wonderful privilege of representing Colorado in a Rocky Mountain region at International Ms. And that is a system that's available for women that are focused on careers and their community. So it aligned with me personally because you know that this is what I live and breathe. And I also love to give back around heart health and self-care advocacy. So I did come back after being awarded the Ms. USA title, which is a great recognition for those supporters and my community. And that kickoff or celebration that I have a couple of friends that are throwing this evening. So for those of you that are in or around the area, we're doing autograph cards. Just want to thank the community that supported me and gotten me to where I am. The other piece of news, which is big piece of news, right, is that we just opened up the CEO applications for the Westminster Chamber position, which is so exciting because this chamber, I know, is amazing. Like, I cannot emphasize enough how much great work is being done by this organization on the cusp of realizing for the organization and what's ahead. It's just an amazing time to be plugged in. So if you've been following along and are someone that's interested and we're curious what that application process is, the application is actually linked on our website. It's on several search platforms as well. Feel free to reach out to the chamber if you're having issues navigating any of that. But that does mean, because that's a position that I hold, that I will be departing from my role with the chamber, which I know. I've always said it has to be a pretty unique opportunity for me to take it on. And I'll be going on to a neighboring state over in Kansas and working with the Topeka Chamber and the Greater Topeka Partnership. And that is just, it's a superb market. It is first class in the number of opportunities that are out there and the work that's being done. So I'll be a peer next door, just not in the exact capacity, but you all are stuck with me until about the November time period. So I'm not leaving quite yet, and I'll be here to continue to usher that smooth process and know that board, staff, everyone will continue everything as it is. If anything else, what I tell people is that we are here to do our part and make it better, and the next person just takes that and makes it even better than that as well. And so excited to leave the opportunity where it lies right now here.
So that's a lot. Number one, congratulations. We're very, very proud of you. We're so impressed. You're so amazing. And number two, please change your mind and don't go. We so much have loved you, and you've done so much for the Westminster Chamber. You grew it from a little nugget into this flourishing, self-sustaining, great organization. So we've absolutely loved you, and we'll ignore it. We will be in denial until you go.
Absolutely. I'll be back. I'm going to be so excited to see the continual work. And thank you to members, but also thank you to our electeds like you that have made working in this community, growing this organization, making things possible. Because without partners, without people, we really can't get anything done. So thank you for being you.
What? Gosh, Julia, thanks. So let me run through some county updates. The first thing I have is also some good news and some recognition, a recognition of somebody who is a hero in our community. So Annette Cannon,
Mm.
who is our coroner, saved a life.
Oh, wow.
She was at a meeting in Grand Lake, and it was some kind of meeting. She was at a restaurant. She walked out of the restaurant, and someone was choking. She did the Heimlich maneuver and she saved their life. Our coroner saved a life. And I think we need to recognize her. And so if everybody could write this down, this is her email address. You could tell she doesn't use email a whole lot. It's Annette, Annette, 2006 at msn.com. Annette 2006 at msn.com. And if people could, great, thank you. If people could just send off an email and just say, you are our hero, our Jefferson County hero, and we're so proud of you that our coroner, did what they needed to do and saved a life. So I think we need to come together and recognize her. Okay.
Absolutely. Thank you for that. The email has been included in the comment section for everyone. Please do reach out and thank her for that heroic move.
Great. Good. I just want to remind everybody that the commissioners meet on Tuesdays at the Taj Mahal, the Jefferson County Administrative Building. We have our hearings and then we have briefings. Our hearings usually start at 8 o'clock, starting next Tuesday. They're every week, or just about every week Tuesdays. Next Tuesday, we start at 9 o'clock. And the reason why we're doing that is we heard from our staff. They were having a hard time getting their kids to school when we had 8 o'clock hearings, and they had to be in before 8 o'clock to set up everything and get our hearings going. So we did some public surveys and got public feedback. The majority of people in the public said that that would not be a problem for them. So we're going to be starting next week, Tuesday. That meeting is virtual and it's live. So we have public hearings at the beginning and at the end of every meeting. So encourage people, come on down, grab a cup of coffee, come on down. And actually, starting, I don't know when, pretty soon, we're going to have a coffee cart at the admin again. So, yeah, you won't even have to buy coffee on your way down. You could buy coffee when you're there. Okay.
Absolutely. I've typed that into the chat. Meetings start at 9 next Tuesday, virtual or in person. More details around public hearings can be found on the jeffco.us page. That link has also been dropped into the chat for those of you that are viewing. I see you, Scott, on here. Thank you for joining us for this broadcast.
Hi, Scott. So a couple update things. One is, I mentioned this before, but the county is looking at short-term rentals. And where do short-term rentals fit in terms of the regulatory structure? So should you have to get a permit before you rent out your house as a short-term rental? Are there regulations you should be able to follow? The question that has come up by a lot of people in the county is, should we even have short-term rentals in Jefferson County? There was a meeting in Evergreen, that not a set meeting that the county put together, not a set meeting that someone put together, but 90 people showed up to say, get rid of short-term rentals in Jefferson County. So it's important, if you have an opinion, if you think we should not have them, if you think we should have them, but they should be permitted, what kind of regulations should they have? What kind of bad experiences have you had? What kind of good experiences you have? Now is the time to share that input, and there's a place on our website to be able to do that. So really want to encourage everybody. This is the time. Share your input, please.
Commissioner Kraft Tharp, is this, will it be considering municipalities or cities that already have ordinance in place around? So it could be in addition to or in conflict with,
or just unincorporated areas versus the municipalities are in charge of their corporated areas.
Okay. I believe Westminster had passed theirs most recently for one license per person, fee of $200 for 2 years, subject to a rental inspection, must have a trash contract, and rents to only one party at a time. Their occupancy limits is the same as current rental based on square footage. And I believe the council has a 6-month update that will be presented to them in December to see how that's played in and what has been the effect of that.
That's helpful. Do they charge taxes?
I'm unaware if they do. I don't have that in front of me.
That's the other question. If you go to a hotel, they charge lodging tax.
Mm-hmm.
You rent out through VRBO or Airbnb, they do not charge tax. So that's another thing for areas to consider.
Yes. I will find the link where people can submit their public comment and feedback.
Perfect. The other area that the county is really focusing on is a project called Together Jeffco, and I've mentioned this before also. Together Jeffco is about looking at our planning and zoning process, tearing it totally down, putting it back together again so that it's more efficient, more effective, so that it works for everybody. This is a 2-year process. In that process, we will be updating 4 of our plans, our comprehensive plan, our traffic plan, our transportation plan, our water plan, and another plan. But through the 2 years, we'll be doing that. We've had several meetings this last summer to get public input, and now we are having vision and value events.
Wow.
Yes, we'll have one in the north area of Jeffco, one in the middle area, and one in the south area. The one in the north area is on Tuesday, October 10th at 6:30 at Storyline Church. So I encourage people to come, give your input. So it's really important. We need to hear both the good and the bad around our planning and zoning process. We've got some amazing people that work there, and I encourage people to share some of the good stuff too. But we also want to share how can it be more effective. Over the years, you get different regulations that come in, and then they put them in an area like you have to get this letter signed, and so they put it in week 3. That might cost you an additional $15,000 to do that at that time, or it might really delay your project a couple weeks. So we want to hear that, so we make sure that when we are putting the system back together again, it's the most effective and efficient that it can be. So
Mhm.
that's October 10th at 6:30. Okay.
Mhm.
Okay. So that has been some good news. So now I have some bad news. We have to balance that out. I've mentioned this before, but now we have a date. Sim Street at about
Oh.
100, yes, at about 108th to 128 will be closing. On the sign, there's a blinking sign there now, and it says October 11th. Sim Street is going to be closed for a year. I know. This,
Mhm. Big.
yeah, this affects me too. I take Sims all the time, and it's so convenient to do so.
Mhm.
The reason is we have the Verve development that's happening there on the west side of 128 and Sims. And so they're going to realign Sim Street. And then they have to move the utilities. So they're not able to just do it, close Sims and open up the new Sims. What they're going to have to do is close the old Sims while they're building the new Sims and changing all the utilities. So
Yeah.
it'll be a headache. It'll be a hassle. Um, it is what it is, and it'll last a year. And it looks like October is the time that that's happening. I think this last summer I had thought it was going to be in August, but now
Mhm.
it looks like it's going to be October.
Well, I mean, I don't think it's bad that we mentioned it that far out because this is a big deal, and we want people to constantly have that reminder because I'm sure many of us will still head down that road, and then we see that it's closed and have to detour. So the more we can in advance share that type of information, the better. What I've done around the Together Jeffco and the Jeffco visioning session was include the details for the October dates that's coming up and the time of Tuesday, October 10th at 6:30 in the chat at the church. We also included the calendar for jeffco.us. Here you can find a lot of the upcoming events and meetings, so you can access that. In case I have mistyped or misspoken, know that I frantically am typing these, so there may be a misspelled word or an inaccurate specific wording. Try and hear more of what the commissioner is saying rather than what I type in. Dave is referencing, of course, his disappointment for the closure, but he does understand that that this needs to happen and that hopefully the contractors can actually, achieve a sooner process or get that done. There is a question that came through from Parker. I'm just going to go ahead and pull it up on the screen. It is a larger question. So what I'll do is read the question to Commissioner Kraft Tharp and see what we can provide him in an answer form or context. So he's asking if we can look at the unincorporated parts of Jeffco, Old Wads between 92nd and Church Ranch. Doesn't have a sidewalk for people to walk and kids to go to school. End up walking in the street and the hill's dangerous with the kids in it when you can't see when you're going up and down. For those of you that have not traveled Old Wadsworth before, there is a little bit of that up down that generally happens as you go alongside that road. So, Commissioner, is this something that you can speak to? Have you seen it come across as an issue before? Have people vocalized about it, or is there something that the county has already been putting in place to try and address these specific issues?
I don't know, but what I can tell you is thank you very much, Parker Brown. But I will pass this on to our Director of Development and Transportation, Avel Montoya. And Avel will pass that on to the appropriate people to see is it already in the works. It's important for you to know that we have about $500 million worth of transportation projects that the county is not able to work on because of revenue. $500 million. And I don't know if this sidewalk project is in that list. We have started to chip away at this list through some of the federal ARPA dollars that we received, um, but we still have unmet needs. But I will pass this on to Avel Montoya. Um, Kid safety is really important, and I'm familiar with that old Wadsworth area, so I'll pass that on to Val, and we'll see what we can do. But
Thank you
thank
so much.
you.
Yeah. I don't see additional comments around anything of what we've just referenced. So if you'd like to continue moving through our list.
Will do. While we are on Dave Carpenter, thanks for your question. I want to say congratulations to him, who will be joining the county as a volunteer on our planning commission. So he has honed his skills in Westminster, and we will be stealing him to the county to be able to utilize his skills and abilities. So congratulations, Dave Carpenter.
Absolutely.
Yes. So speaking of money, we are on in the middle of our budget process. We met all summer long with different departments in which they gave us their requests. The staff is now putting all that together again, and they will be presenting to us October 5th. And then we will be giving our feedback, our input, and then the budget will come to us, I think, in beginning of November for approval. When the last we saw the budget, we were looking at a $20 million deficit. So we'll see what the staff is able to do with that. We had several different options to be able to meet that deficit. And so we're looking forward to seeing what the staff is able to put together and present to us next week.
Well, we'll keep our eyes on that and see what options come forward. I know we now have a new county manager. I say, he's a little bit, seasoned somewhat now.
Months.
It's been 6 months, so perhaps there's some of his visioning and perspective will also be weighed in and factored in on that budget that we see come forward.
Yes. And then this is the weird money part. Okay, so house valuations went up, property taxes went up. County received $42 million in new monies from the increase in property taxes. Because of our Tabor cap, we will be issuing a Tabor refund of about $39.5 million. That's checks that come to you in October. And those checks will be somewhere in the $118 to $200 range. So if you remember 2 years ago, you got a $4 check from us. Last year, you got a $40 check from us. This year, it'll be between 100 and I think $118 is about the average check that should be issued. I know it sounds real crazy. We've got this $20 million deficit, and at the same time, we're returning money to people, but that's Tabor, and that's the way that it goes.
There was a quick comment that came through to take us back to the transportation topic that we had moments ago, Commissioner Kraft Tharp, and then we can bounce back to the property tax valuations and refunds. But Dave is referencing and suggesting that in this thought, and I'm sure it's been discussed before, about the county perhaps turning has Jeffco looked at ceding some of its road ownership to the cities in incorporated areas? He understands that Sims at 100th, et cetera, are owned by the county. He did clarify and follow up why he's suggesting this, and that saying that giving the urban roads to the cities could leave some of the maintenance funds that impact roads to truly be used toward the rural parts of our county.
I'll pass that on to Val also. That whole north area of Jefferson County, this is one of the I didn't realize this before I became a commissioner. It's really crazy there. I mean, a little part of it is Broomfield, a little part of it is Westminster, and then Arvada, and then unincorporated. It goes block to block. It's just different. It's patchwork. It's like a quilt. It's pretty interesting how that works.
Yeah. Thank you for that thought and comment, Dave. So checks should be start arriving here in the next few weeks for those that have paid property taxes, with the refunds that have, because of Tabor, those average around 118 up to $200. So look out in your mail. Don't throw out if it looks like it's a check that's come to you.
So the question that someone is writing out right now is, how much does it cost us to do checks? And why are we doing it instead of lowering the mills?
Mm-hmm.
So in the past, it has cost us between $200,000 and $250,000 to do checks. That's a purposeful decision that the commissioners have made to do that. Why? Number one, we can include a flyer when we send you a check. And in that flyer, we can educate people around why are they getting a check, what is Tabor, and what is the impact. Because there's all these people that have moved to Colorado since Tabor came into action. They don't have the vaguest idea what it is. They don't have the vaguest idea what it means. And all of a sudden they move to Jefferson County and they get this check. It's like, you must have extra money. You must not need it. They don't get it. So part of our job we see is to educate people. So that's why we're doing checks. That's so that we can do that education piece.
That makes sense.
Okay. So I think I thought I had one other thing and I did not write it down. We, like I said, we finished up our boards and commissions appointments this last Tuesday, and lots of great applicants. Everybody that applied, we really appreciate it. And yes, and congratulations to those people that were selected to move forward. I know what it was. I'm going to end on a very controversial note.
Oh.
Woohoo! Airport. So, two issues that are really very controversial. Oh, God bless you.
Thank you.
That are very controversial, that create a lot of energy with people, are noise of the airplanes and the use of leaded versus unleaded gas. Our airport manager, Paul Anslow, and I will be going to Broomfield City Council on next Tuesday night to be able to speak about leaded versus unleaded gas and some of the efforts that the airport is making around preparing for the sale of unleaded gas. I'm really impressed with what our airport manager has done. I'm really excited to be able to share this information, and we'll be having a press conference again also on Wednesday morning. So lots of information to come.
Yes.
So what questions do you have, Juliet? What questions did Dave Carpenter have? Parker Brown, Brian Head. Who else has joined us?
Right. Those were the ones that did come through during our talk. We've had a lot of people that have been tuning in with us, Rex and some others. I see you all just interested in hearing the information, but not asking any questions of us. We did have a quick comment from Parker. I believe it was in reference to HH. Parker was trying to ask if we can speak on that. And here's what we will say. There is going to be a broadcast that the chamber hosts with the pro and the con side of Proposition HH. This is one of a few things that will come forward to our voters. And the way that we are approaching it, of course, as an organization, is to inform you of all the information, both sides, so you can be empowered to vote how you see fit. We're not swaying you one way or the next. We're having those that are either supporting that proposition or opposing it come forward to speak. It will be moderated by our lobbyist, Kelly Sloan, here in the month of October. So stay tuned when we push that information out, which leads me to giving another plug-in, if that's okay, Commissioner Kraft Tharp.
Yep.
Before we joined on here, we were talking about forums and hosting opportunities to meet candidates. On October the 12th, we will have a city council interview time with the candidates, and that will be here virtually. Every candidate has a maximum of 7-8 minutes, so it's under a 10-minute window per person. It's in an hour block, hour and a half, depending on who has gone ahead and accepted the invitation. Know that all our counselors to any of these policy events that we host have been invited to them. So outside of this virtual one, 1, we have an in-person candidate forum. The main difference is the in-person candidate forum is rapid fire questions. You're getting their candid perspective on issues that our community really wants to hear or know about. That is in person at City Hall on October the 19th at 4:30 in the afternoon. We did adjust it so that way people can get off work a little bit early and perhaps come over, and those candidates that are employed or own a business have that opportunity of slipping out at a relatively decent time. So the 12th is morning, the 19th is late afternoon. We will be having candidate forums for our school districts as well. We've heard all of you that have been asking where these are this year, so we will be hosting it in October. Stay tuned as I release this date here in the next several days.
What's the time on the 12th?
The 12th is going to be morning. Right now, we have that blocked from 10 a.m. to noon. It is contingent on those that have accepted. So if we have enough to run only an hour, for example, it may be from 10 to 11 or, from 10 to 11:30, just kind of depends on the volume of candidates that we have.
Okay. And I will tell you from my own personal experience, these are tough forums.
They are. I always give the disclosure at the start. These people want to serve. These candidates truly have a heart to get out there, throw themselves in the ring, and they know what they're signing up with our organization. We don't do surrogates. We don't give them the questions in advance. No one is given an advantage over the next. One question's asked of every single person, so we have that fair playing field. So that way it is something that is a non-biased perspective. We truly want you to know these candidates a little bit more, pique your interest, and go find out more about them via our elections page, via any of those campaign pages that they have as well.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Well, perfect. We don't have, maybe next month, we can give an update on the Jefferson Parkway. Okay, so we can note that for next month.
Okay.
All righty. Well, Commissioner Kraft Tharp, I think we got through all of your list of items. We started a little bit late, but we ended slightly after 30 minutes. I think we caught up. We caught up somehow.
Good.
So thank you to everyone that's tuned in now or later. Give us that hashtag replay if you tune in. If you have suggestions on topics or questions, send those in and we'll get them answered for you before the next broadcast and try and re-loop that in for those of you that are curious by then. But have a wonderful weekend to everyone, and to you, Commissioner Kraft Tharp. Thank you for being on here, and I hope the rest of your day is amazing.
Thank you. Have a nice month. Thanks so much.
Bye.